My apologies. What's happening? What's going on, everybody? We are live. We are live doing. I yeah, I'm running late because I was over here messing with my gameplay, and I just get this gameplay rolling, and then I couldn't find it, and then I'm just like, man, just start the whatever. Just being difficult with myself, but whatever. What's happening, everybody? A lot to discuss, actually. Quite a bit of things to discuss. Pretty wild. My main thing was really to talk about the situation going on with the pricing of the PlayStation Pro. And then I just come to see that they have released a 30th anniversary version. And listen, it looks hot. There's no question. It looks really, really, really dope. Um, so what's up, Yobi? What's happening? I found this thing to work. Thank goodness. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. Um, well, let's see what's going on with this. Funny. There we go. I think it's going. It's going fine now. Anyway, so what's going on? Told Yobi it was going to be about 5 minutes, and it turned out to be 15. But regardless, here we go. Um, Man, like I said, there's a lot of things to talk about. There was some more news that came out about hi-firush. There was some news that came out about Square Enix. Looking and seeing my boy Yobi getting upset because PyCon is still not shown or represented in DBZ to this day, and I don't understand why either. Well, I mean, it used to be in the past, but not in recent fighting games, and hopefully, but yeah, it seems like that they just kind of lose track of PyCon. I would like to have a. Hopefully, he's going to be coming up. Come in there. It's just kind of wild he's not in there. But other than that, what's happening? Me always saying you look younger. Richili saying third party is carrying gaming. Right now, it looks like that. Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about the patent, the lawsuit for Nintendo's going after Power World. Yeah, man, like I said, there's quite a few of things that just came out of nowhere. And it's kind of fun to talk about some extra stuff other than just the same old, same old. I still think that I still see people out there going crazy and a lot of blocking people and racial tension and things like that. Now, I will say this. I seen that Jabari was getting caught. Look, I've had it done to me. Numerous people have had it done to me. I know the Cognito was even saying the same thing. And listen, there's no need for people to be disrespectful, regardless who, if you don't like that PlayStation person, Xbox person, Nintendo person, PC person, regardless, no matter what color they are, and to see that, and then so I seen that Jabari posted that he tried to flag or uh, block or whatever, get somebody's account messed up, not messed up, but taken away because they was feeding racist garbage, and of course, this is Elon Musk's world right here, and so didn't see nothing wrong with it. So I found that to be very, very problematic. And that's why I no longer, you don't see the blue check mark. You might see the blue check mark, but I don't pay for anything here. I just can't. I can't. All the stuff, like, I mean, you can't, if you have anything that's trending, you will see more ass and titties on your screen or something with somebody from side of it from Trump or Harris pop up in your, and it's crazy. It is a cesspool of just nonsense here. It's just ridiculous. I don't know, but I mean, this is kind of like my home right now to where I like to be. But it is a hot mess. It used to be a safe space to just talk about gaming. If you wanted to just talk about gaming, if you want to talk about politics, you could go somewhere else within and just kind of keep it all evened out. Now it's just everything. It's wild on Twitter now. But anyway, about that. What's going on with Verge? Thank you, Yobi. You know what I'm saying? The fountain of youth is still not found by though. I feel old as hell. But other than that, yeah, appreciate you saying that I look younger. You know what I'm saying? Just working out, get things going, and like I said, I needed the break. I needed the break. I thought I didn't, but yeah, I needed the break. So, and tonight, finally, I will be streaming finally. And so Fight Night will be returning tonight. Don't know what I'll play. I don't know. I'll off some um Marvel versus Capcom. My head beat in, but it is what it is. I've never loved them, and I'm glad that they're here. But they also show how broken those games were, especially Marvel vs. Capcom 2, because the endless combos, they are vicious. They are vicious, and it is what it is. But it's good to see that those games have returned. I would like to see some more collections come back. I mean, listen, I just think that there's a lot of great balanced fighters that still needs to be seen by younger audiences. So I think that if they do more of that, bring more of these collections with some of these great games, classic games, man, it'll be great. I can't wait for the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. That's going to be nuts. So yeah. Anyway, I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I will be doing Fight Night tonight. So kind of looking forward to it. And then Friday, I did a poll to where I asked which game should I start streaming, and I asked if it was want to do my second playthrough from Black Myth Wukong or Space Marines, which I haven't even booted up. I mean, it's downloaded, but I haven't even seen what the game looks like. So, and so Space Marines won over. Probably most likely I'll still go back because listen. Black Myth Wukong called me. It's definitely a game of the year candidate. It's for me so far. Damn, we're talking about man. And what was really impressive of Black Myth Wukong is how it was a linear game. It was dense. It was so much content in that game. It was nuts. It was really nuts of how much content was in that game. It was in that game, and I almost had my almost not to quit gaming, but was about to be done with the game because I wanted to get the perfect ending, and Lei Fang, I think that's what he said his name. Man, I think that son of a bitch beat me about, I swear, a good 60 times. He beat me about six and I tried to do everything possible, and then I finally figured it out, and I was like, okay, he is a beast. So for people who haven't got a chance to play it, Xbox gamers, my goodness, you will rejoice when you get your hands on this game. This game is absolutely fantastic. It is worth every penny. Yeah, it's a great game. Got a really cool story. Really didn't know too much about the Monkey King. Of course, watched the stuff on some animes about him and things like that. But yeah, really cool bosses. Game is beautiful on top of that. Yeah, it's dope. It's dope as hell. And of course, Xbox seems to have the console versions. We'll most likely get the better version because it'll be ironed out all the bugs and stuff like that. So when it finally comes, I understand it sucks that didn't get it day one, but at least you'll get the better up and it'll be running really good on Xbox. But yeah, it's unfortunate that it did not get a chance to come out day one, but it is well worth it. And people will understand what I'm talking about when I say it's a candidate for sure. It is a fantastic title. It's fantastic. So anyway, let's see. That's the only thing that's going to sell PlayStation 6 is back compatibility if it has it. Listen, I'm going to talk about that about the pricing. It is nuts to me about how much that console is, and about people coming out to say that the PlayStation 6 is equal or somewhat in the same lane as a NVIDIA card. Like, I have no idea what the hell some people is thinking, but anyway, I'll talk about that here in a little bit. Let's read some more people got to say in the chat. Richili saying in Wukong you play as a monkey and as a huge what is that, monkeys? What monkeys? I don't know what the hell that is. As a, this is a elder space elf. Oh, okay, so it's a big space elf slur for humans. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. What will be the next game? Funny. No, I can't wait. I've heard really good things. I have not heard anybody say anything bad about Warhammer 2. Um, I look forward to playing it. It looks fun, so that's the reason why I got it. I was kind of on the fence, and but I skipped NBA 2K, even though I'm hearing that this is one of the best NBA 2Ks in a very long time. So I'm kind of like, of course it would be, but I'll get that probably during so, you know what I'm saying? There's still so much to play. And I did not know that Wukong was going to be as long as it was. I put around to it to get the perfect ending. And like I said, I'm going to do a second playthrough. So I'm going to most likely stream them both. I mean, I got a couple of friends that they're stuck on a couple of bosses. So if I stream that, then they could see how I went through and beat them. It can be very challenging, but like when I beat Li Fang or Li Fang, however you say his name, uh, that was very the whole sequence after that was spectacular. So anyway, let's talk about this stuff, man. Okay, so first off, I'm not going to really dwell on it too long. I think the Nintendo is petty as hell, going after a Power World, and some of the patents that they're going after them for. I guess throwing a Pokeball in a field, and they're saying that that's theirs, and that's pretty. Listen, Nintendo waited long enough for this game to hit its peak, and then to see how to go ahead and try to take as much money from them as possible. I think that that's absolutely insane. Listen, I support Nintendo, which I don't support Nintendo that heavily when it comes to like buying games. I buy more Xbox, PlayStation, and PC games than anything. But I do, you know what I'm saying, because Nintendo gives you good quality games all the time. But they're just Nintendo is just that company that if you didn't have good rapport with them back in the days, I couldn't see how anybody could really support Nintendo the way that they do. You know what I mean? The one reason why I stick around with Nintendo, while I'll support Nintendo, is because of the fact of because of the of what Nintendo is doing and what Nintendo did to save gaming after the debacle that happened with the Atari. So so that's my one thing. And Nintendo has brought quality, great, fantastic games in its history, but it's just that these things right here, going after people for content that they pay for, or for this type of stuff where it's going after patents and things like that. Like, I can understand them going after um, the people that make the emulations. I get that. But again, it's one of those things to me is where Nintendo. This is where Nintendo looks old and out of touch. And and I mean, it doesn't stop them from selling their consoles, of course, and their games like hotcakes. But it's the thing that bothers me with Nintendo, why Nintendo will never be a main console for me, is because of the fact that of these things right here. And I mean, of course, they still get money from it because I do buy some of the games. Like today, it don't really matter. But this type of stuff right here, man, like if we find out that Power World has to shut down, which I don't think they will. I don't know how much standing this has. Hopefully that at the end, if it make a move to where they could change, Power World can change, alter the way that the way that you capture an animal, like use a square or something like that looks like a Pokeball, something like that. But I mean, to say that another game cannot make a captured animal or creature game is absolutely insane to me, and it just shows. I don't know. Nintendo when Nintendo is quiet, Nintendo is at its best. When Nintendo does shit like this, it just is just not cool at all. Not cool to me. What up with you? What's happening with you? Um, you know what I'm saying? Like I just Pocket Pair now has the money to defend itself. It does have the money to defend itself. That part is true. But why though? I mean, this when PK used to talk so badly about the last two Pokemon games. Um, that's if this is the reality. If Nintendo did well with those two games, if they actually seemed like they gave a damn when they brought those games out, I don't think the issue. Maybe it would be because this is just now Nintendo operates, but I don't know, man. It's just crazy to me. The reason why Nintendo does the things that they do, uh, they normally get away with it, and they normally get their way. I don't know. Hopefully that they won't get their way on this one because it just too fake to look at it and say, well, this does look familiar, and Nintendo can lock this down because if they do that, if they can win this case, then that means that there can't be any other game that you like they can go after a lot of there was a couple of games that came out that had similarities kind of like Power World and like Pokemon. Like that would just be crazy to me. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I just think and the reality is Power World is a much more entertaining, fun game than the last two Pokemons from the experience for the people that played those two Pokemons. I have not played the last two Pokemon games. I've just heard that it was a disaster because I was going to buy the last one that came out a couple of years ago, and I was told not to because in the end, of course, when I looked and seen gameplay, and then the one thing that people talked about is that they were wait for a patch, and the patch I guess is still not there because the game still is broken. So I'm just kind of like, all right, just move on. And Power World has already given me that itch that I liked, and I need to go back to play some Power World. But had a really good time. Had a really good time playing it when I did play it because I played the hell out of it. So that's just really cool. So what's going on here? You saying my audio's breaking up? Maybe because I was moving my mic or something. I don't know. So I don't know. Let me know if my audio is still good. Hold on, let me mess with that. Anyway, uh, so if the audio is good, let me know. If the audio is still cracking, let me know about that too as well. I'll make a couple of adjustments. Anyway, let's see what people are saying in the chats. So Nintendo ain't gonna say it, but they just mad because Power World is the game we wanted Nintendo to make years ago on being saying bringing their boring repetitive formula. Right? No, like that's the whole point. Like that's what I keep seeing. A lot of people that have been Pokemon fans are saying, like, look, you had the opportunity to bring this type of game here to where Power World could still be a force because Nintendo or play Nintendo games to that degree, you could have some competition and make a better game. I mean that's kind of like how EA went after when NBA 2K, well, I'm sorry, NFL 2K, they came with their strategy and people considered that they had a better football game than what EA was, than what Madden was at the time. And then EA said, no, we're going to have to buy them up. And this type of thing to me is they're just trying to find a legal way to stop competition. And that's garbage, in my opinion. That's real garbage. You said my mic is breakdancing. I have no idea. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Hold up. Uh, maybe if I do a couple of things here and there. Hold on. Let me see if I can I'll do that. Well, hold on. Let's do that. All right. Let's see if that's much better. Let me know. Hopefully, I'm still not crackling. Turn this down a little bit. Y'all know. So mess with that. Anyway, so hopefully this is better. Hopefully this is better. Sorry about it. Hopefully it's not crackling. Anyway, you said if you're unleashing any animals out of a ball, Nintendo's after you. No, I mean that's basically it. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know, man. Nintendo just be wilding out. I don't get it. It's very problematic for me. I just don't see why they do the things that they do. But again, it's not going to change anything because when they announce the Switch 2 or whatever the new Nintendo is going to be, people are going to jump all over it. Their games sell well, and it's what it is. I don't know. And actually, in the scheme of things, it is actually the real, true console experience right now compared to however a lot about it feel, how a lot of people feel about Xbox and how some people are starting to feel about PlayStation. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so let's move on to something else. I just think that Nintendo was crazy as hell. But this was another thing that was pretty wild, and this is about. I, I guess there's been a Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. Um, I listen, PlayStation fans. Guys, guys, I'm pleading to you, PlayStation fans. I'm pleading. I'm actually begging you guys and stand up to Sony right damn now. If this is true, which this rumor has been it's been out for a little while, but if this is true, I would be highly pissed. See, and this is the thing. This is the one thing about with with PlayStation fans that trips me out because if this was Xbox doing this, they would be up in arms, laughing, giggling, clapping, and then saying, and then trying to come in with that garbage that they normally say is that, oh, we're just trying to look out for the Xbox. Y'all going to start looking out for yourselves because this right here is just absolutely asinine. In God's green earth, why you would allow this company to get resell you a game that most players boring. Most over the head again with a remastered version of Horizon Zero Dawn. Come on, come on, come on. Listen, they said what recently say they're going to change. They're going to change. They're going to change Aloy's model like they did with Spider-Man. It don't matter. Change anything that I'm talking about that just blows my damn mind. Why I keep saying this is the worst PlayStation generation of all time. This is a horrible generation for PlayStation. I was just a PlayStation owner. If I was back when I was a PlayStation stand back during the PlayStation 1, 2, half of PlayStation 2 era, I would say first quarter of the PlayStation 2 era. I, I there's nothing that I could stand for. I could not stand and stand on a soapbox and say PlayStation is the best. When I'm looking at Xbox is just now coming out, Nintendo was over here throwing heat, and then you also had like consoles that came out. I mean, they didn't do as well, but they had content for the most part. But I mean, you tell me that you're looking at this and you PlayStation fans didn't ask for another remaster to a game that they've already played and most of them has beat. I I don't know, man. I have no clue. You're saying it's still popping and locking. Ah, man, my bad. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Well, I hate that. I hate when that mic does that. So let me try to move away from it. Maybe that might be better. I don't know. So uh, let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Let me cut this off. I have no idea. Anyway, I just don't understand it. I look at this and I'm just saying, why in the hell would you want to bring that? That's just kind of like if Xbox wanted to bring back Master Chief Collection, remastered. I wouldn't want it. Why? Just they want to remaster the Master Chief Collection again, or give a remastered version of the Master Chief Collection. And if they did, it'd probably be a $10 charge. PlayStation's going to hit you across the head, most likely $50 at least. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't I don't know. I don't know how anybody could look at this and be satisfied with that. Especially the shortest things is with the first party lineup that PlayStation has offered this generation. It has been dead ass awful, and I don't know. I don't know. It's nuts to me. It is nuts to me. All right. Another thing that was pretty crazy. I want to try to talk about. It's mixed up. It's kind of blended in together. And this is pretty wild. I, I don't know. Anyway, so Square Enix came out and they said that they did not want that Final Fantasy underperformed. That by a mile. We knew that by a mile. And so, yeah, what is what's called PlayStation reskinning the games and putting a $70 price tag. Man, if they charge $70 for this remake, which I can't argue with you because the way PlayStation operates, I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, I would say 50, but you could be right. You could be absolutely right. Anyway, yeah, you could be absolutely right. If they, I mean, it's ridiculous anyway. They might give you an incentive if you have already bought versions, and so they might knock off $20, and so that's why I'm saying 50. I have no idea. They shouldn't charge you anything. If they want you, listen. It's one of these things when PlayStation fans has to look at this and say, okay, invest into a PlayStation Pro. I should get any enhancements like that for free for showing my loyalty to the company. And I understand companies normally don't all work like that. But I mean, if you're asking for the money that you're asking for that console, which I'll definitely get in more detail about, you would think, but I don't know. And just for PlayStation fans, and they've already, I believe they put an enhancement on it on a Horizon. Maybe they didn't put an enhancement on Horizon Forbidden. I mean, on Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't know. There's so many damn remasters and remakes and everything. I have no idea. I can't keep up with what PlayStation's doing with all those, but it still shouldn't be no more than $10 for anybody who's bought already. And especially, and it should be free if somebody's buying it. It should be if you're gonna bundle it with the PlayStation Pro or something like that. It should be free. We know that that's not going to happen. But if it's $70, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't. I just. I would. I don't know. Anyway, that. Square Enix. Back to Square Enix. Square Enix gave out the information that's saying that the Final Fantasy games that's been exclusive is underperformed. I, they didn't really say anything about Final Fantasy VII remake, but for the for Rebirth and for Final Fantasy 16, and of course for Spoken, those games did not do well. So much so for Spoken, we might never get a sequel that might be done and cooked. But this whole experiment is done. It's over. It's over. This is another franchise that will be out and be available for everybody when the next entry of the Final Fantasy games come out, because the experiment just doesn't work. The reality is, and it cracks me up when I keep seeing stands keep talking about how Xbox gamers do not buy games, when we keep looking and seeing that nobody's buying these games, and there's very few games that are hitting and people are buying. It's very few. It's very far and in between now. It's the reality of it is where people are holding on more to their money, and this is why I've been saying that game services like Game Pass, etc., is the way of the future, because it is evident, especially as many games that are coming out. People aren't going to just go ahead and say, look, man, that game looks dope, I'm going to give it a try. No, because a lot of people get disappointed because when they buy these games day one, a lot of them need to be patched up. And sometimes these games are already broken because they're being rushed out. And so people are just more skittish. And when you look and see the Final Fantasy games, listen, I mean, the juggernaut of Final Fantasy has waned. It is not the same as it used to be. And I take part of it, and one of the biggest parts of that is because it went back to being exclusive. Back in the days, back when people didn't, when you was playing those games off of Nintendo and then playing off of PlayStation, it was a different time, different era. It made sense. It don't make sense now because there's people that still, there's most of us that has multiple consoles, especially people that's listening to it, that's watching and listening right now. But it's just people aren't just grabbing. People are only just getting certain games, and that's it. They're just not doing it. They're not going out here and they're getting. And when you got a franchise like Final Fantasy, and you're not pulling your weight on what most people were saying that saves that franchise, that tells you something. It tells you something. The whole dynamic of what Final Fantasy used to be is gone. It's over. Right now, Persona is now the new king of JRPGs. It just is. It just is. When they announced Persona 6, you know what? Metaphor might kill it. I have no idea if it will or not, but you would think, because right now Atlas is batting 1,000 right now. So after Persona 5, that was it. Like, I mean, if some people can even go as far as saying about Persona 4, but mostly with all the great reception from Persona 5, they are the kings of the JRPG right now. Final Fantasy lost themselves, and I think also when you think about the one new and I don't think it's not, and I don't think it's made by. I think it's made by a European group. I think that's making this new Expedition 3033 or something like that. I think Final Fantasy is going to find out that people still love role-playing games the way that they're used to be constructed. Like, I mean, nothing's wrong with the way that Final Fantasy 16 looks or plays, or Final Fantasy 7, whatever, but they bet wrong. They acted like role-playing games, the strategy of role-playing games, were old and old-fashioned because, and whoever they were listening to was completely full of shit. Because if you go back and you think about a game like, listen, it worked for Final Fantasy 15, right? And I can see you doing that for Final Fantasy 16. And for the remakes of what you did, I mean, I guess it works, but you see that there's still a lot of gamers that love the old RPG ways of having that strategy of role playing. The turn based system, and I think that if Expedition 33 does well. I know it's Expedition. I don't know if that the number was right, but if Expedition does well, I think that they'll think about their strategy again and probably might try to make some games to go back to see if people still have that demand for role playing. And if they do, I think Final Fantasy will get back to being what it is, and especially since Final Fantasy will now start will be all over the place. It will come everywhere. Uh, I think it will benefit them a lot because there's no question. So you can have stands tell you all day up and down that, well, look at how many sales that it sold on Xbox compared to PlayStation. That's fine and well and good, but what's the excuse now when it's only on PlayStation and PlayStation had the opportunity to, and it has a large fan base, and you still didn't buy it. So honestly, did the exclusivity matter? No, it actually hurt Final Fantasy, and that's just the truth of it. And I don't know, and the reception of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I see that some people say that it's really really good. From other people, I heard that it was cool, but then it started getting a little bit boring. I don't know. I haven't got to play it yet. I'll wait for the PC version. So again, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not buying Final Fantasy 16. I'll play it if it's gifted to me, but I am not playing it. And then also, what somebody said in the chat, I do agree that since Xbox is going back to the Tokyo Game Show, they will definitely be doing. I think that Forspoken will probably be the first game that will be announced and will be on Game Pass. And I definitely recommend it. It's a slow little grind in the beginning. And it's like I said, I didn't really like the character in the beginning. But then once the game really started to flow, then everything started to pick up, and then I really started to enjoy the game. And I thought the game was really, really good, and I gave it an 8 out of 10. I would say I played the hell out of it, and I need to go back and I need to play the DLC. Um, but yeah, no, I thought Forspoken was really, really good. It's a slow little grind. It takes a few hours to get out of the crudeness a little bit because they tried to make her and it didn't come off well. Like they tried to make her hard, but she wasn't because she just didn't have the voice or the stuff. But she was crude. She was cussing like every other word and this, that, the third, and it just I was like, "Whoa, come on, Square, who's writing this? This isn't popping. But then gradually I seen where the direction was, and so it gave me more opportunity to give it to continue to give it a chance. And then it did flow in the right direction, and then the character became a lot more likable, and then the environments and the people within the game. And so I was like, okay, I got it. I got it. It's a really cool game. Really cool game. But yeah, Coleman says, Chris says Forspoken was on PC day one. It's cheap and a good game. Game Pass doesn't help with sales. And like with the free to play, only servers devalue games. Sub service are best for old games and unknown AA and indie games. False. False. And I'm going to touch on that. I know exactly where you're trying to go with that, Chris, but I'm gonna have to kill you on that one because of the fact of there's a reason, and that's going to be talking about hi-firush too. But I want to still continue to talk about what's going on with Square. And also something here that kind of does link with it, and this is an article from Tom's Hardware, and it says the PlayStation 5 firmware update renders several games unplayable with severe graphic issues this week. The best way to play PlayStation titles is on PC, which is wild. But they're saying the just ported Final Fantasy 16 is impacted, as well as several other major titles, including Death Stranding and Black Myth Wukong. So what some people are starting to allude, and I'm not alluding to that, but what some people are starting to is making these assumptions, I should say, theories, is that they want these games to not look and perform at its best at this particular time, maybe because the Pro is getting ready to come out, and then it will be a huge leap in the way that these games play. They're saying also Jedi Survivor, Elden Ring, um, and other games. So it could be just a crazy glitch that just got these games messed up for right now, just not playing at their best. But this also could be one of these things to where they're advertising the game, and then if you're showing the side by side of the PlayStation Pro, and then you're showing the side by of the PlayStation 5, and this game after this patch is not looking up to par or better than what or looked what it once did compared. I don't know. Like that's conspiracy theory. I don't know. It could be just a patch that Sony just did that messed up these games to make them not look as good or whatever. But I don't know. So anyway, it says right down here, it says, you may be wondering what's the cause of the issue, how will it be fixed, and when can it be fixed? Unfortunately, we do not have an answer to any of these questions, but we know the issue has been brought to Square Enix, Final Fantasy devs, and PlayStation's attention via tweet. With any luck, we can expect a fix sooner rather than later. Consumers paid an effective fee of hundreds of dollars to play these games on this hardware, so it should just work. However, one can't help but notice that at least this week, it does seem like PC is the best play, of course, because they care more about PC. And again, I did get God of War. I have not seen what God of War looks like on my rig yet. I'm pretty sure it's going to look absolutely fantastic because God of War 2018 looked crazy on my rig. So I'm expecting Ragnarok to look fantastic, and I have not beat Ragnarok. So I started playing it, got to a certain point, and then I stopped and I said I'll come back to it. And then when I found out that they were going to be releasing it on PC, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll just wait for the PC version. So, and that's kind of just where I'm at now. Any PlayStation game, I'll just wait for the PC version. I'm not in no hurry to go ahead and get anything from PlayStation Day One, especially when I know that with these type of games, I want to see them at their best. So, and have them perform at their best. And so, I know my rig will do it. So that's why I'll wait. That's my decision on that. But yeah, Richili said, I hope Atlas Vanillaware starts porting his older games to Xbox. I hope so too. Now I know that there's a Romancing Saga 2 remake or something like that. It's not coming to Xbox from my understanding. I know it didn't show the Xbox logo. Could be one of those things where it's a exclusive deal. It could be one of those things where it's going through the same type of problem as what other games is going through. But I don't know. It looked interesting, but I mean, it's coming out in October, and really, there's only 3 games that I'm looking at in October. I mean, I already got Call of Duty, so I'm not really worried about that. But it's Assassin's Creed, and then there's Metaphor. Those are the 3 games that's on. Well, I'm sorry. 4 games because there's Sparking Zero. So yeah, like I said, there's 4 games, but I already got Call of Duty, so Assassin's Creed, which is a must. I'm not playing around with Assassin's Creed. I already told people that I'm getting the Ultimate Edition of that. And then Sparking Zero, Metaphor. I'll see what the budget looks like, but it's around my wife's birthday, so I don't want to overspend on me when I need to go ahead and take care of her. So, you know what I'm saying? Because, that might be problematic for me. So, anyway, what's going on with you, John Wolf? Good to see you too, man. Yeah, I'm making my little return. I'll be streaming tonight, doing fight night. Then Friday night, we'll be streaming something, most likely Warhammer, because that's what people was asking me to stream. So I have not get to see it. So whatever, for the first time I get to see it, people get to see my reactions for it because I haven't got the chance to see it at all yet. I mean, it's booted up. I mean, it's loaded in, but I just haven't even turned it on and tried to check it out. As you can see in the background, I did get I bought the $26 version of Test Drive Unlimited. It's okay. It's not bad. I would definitely tell people to wait for a sale. Yeah, I think it's already cheaper on PC if you want to get it on CD keys or something like that. And I'm pretty sure this game will be on sale coming here in the next month or two. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I would say for people who are big test drive fans, thinking that it's going to be more on the same level of Test Drive 2, not yet from what I've played. It's got some similarities, but yeah, it's not a bad racer though. It's kind of funny though that how the standard you can tell who's the king of racers because all these racers that are now starting to come about, even with Project Cars, are taking the Forza Horizon model, uh, or this Forza model. So they're not trending more of what Gran Turismo used to be. They're more trending of what Forza has done with their races. And so now, if that doesn't tell people who's really running the racing market right now, I don't know what else to tell you because I mean this does makes you feel like this is kind of a blend of Horizon with some Need for Speed with the test drive type of vibe to it. You just got to play it. But I would say I would recommend a sale on that. So, but anyway, yes, Shadows is going to be excellent. I'm really looking for that. Thank you, saying nobody has said anything about the screen, but you know, what I'm saying people was talking about the voice. So hopefully that now that I haven't seen anybody else say that about my mic was popping and locking. So hopefully it's not anymore. Um, but anyway, so let me read what Richili saying post. He said, this year is going to be the greatest. This year is the greatest of gaming for me personally. Unicorn Overlord 2, which I've heard really good things about. Helldivers 2. I need to get back on that. I played a little bit with Ham and then I of course got caught up into something else. Wukong's fantastic. Space Marines, which a lot of people talking good about that. Dustborn, I don't know about Dustborn for me personally. Looks okay, but it's something that I can play later at a later day, years down the line or something. And then there's plenty of other games. I mean, there's Stalker 2, there's Indiana Jones. I would like to play Astrobot, but I only will play that if it comes to the PC. So there's no reason for me to get it for PlayStation because that's just like I said, there's no reason for me to have a PlayStation anymore. It just isn't. I'm comfortable with waiting. And so, so when Stellar Blade comes, when Ronin drops, I'll be there to pick it up and to play it. But yeah, no, there's no reason for me to have a PlayStation anymore. So really, it's going to be drawn down for me only really having two consoles. I'll get what Nintendo is doing, and I understand that people could say the same thing about Xbox, but that's my primary gaming place. Because even when I'm playing on PC, I'm still playing not so much with Wukong because I was playing that off of Steam, but most of the times when I'm playing games on my PC, it's usually through the Xbox store. I'm not store, but through the app or whatever. So it's just I don't know. I mean that's another crazy discussion as well. Is where is a lot of people's discussion? I know when I'm in certain DMs, one particular one, a lot of people are saying, "Look, man, I'm just going to just ride with PC and just see how everything how everything plays out." So, and I'm pretty sure that that's kind of like people are probably just going to pick their primary console and maybe get a secondary, which will probably be Nintendo's console. And then that's it. Like, I don't see a lot of people going and getting the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation and then the Xbox and then the Switch. Or I just think that if they get a PlayStation, they'll get a PlayStation and then they'll get a Switch. Or if they get an Xbox, they'll get a Xbox and a Switch or Nintendo and that's it. Or you'll just get a Nintendo console and a PC. I think that's just kind of where a lot of people's direction is going. The era of getting all consoles or people over here promoting that you get all consoles these days, I don't hear it as much when I'm listening to podcasts or something on occasion or when I'm reading what people are saying. It's usually where your home base is and maybe a Nintendo if you like Nintendo games, and that's it. Everything else, or just get a PC. So it's what it is. It is what it is. John Wolf said he says you're getting the definitive versions of. Yes, I am. I'm getting. Okay, Richily, thank you. Yeah, I'm getting the definitive versions of the PlayStation games. That's why I'm saying I don't need a PlayStation anymore. I just don't. Um, you know, I, you know what I'm saying? I just think that that's just a rational decision. That's why I built the PC that I did. I kind of was looking at it. I remember that Don was sitting there. It's like, you're not going to, he's like, you're going to change your mind and not get a PlayStation. I'm like, I'm going to get a PlayStation. I won't get a PlayStation 5. I'm going to get one. And then I just decided, I was like, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. And what did it for me was the Spider-Mans, because I did get I can't remember which game it was. I can't remember which PlayStation game it was, and it ran like trash. And I was like, you know what? I might be safer just going ahead and just getting that PlayStation 5 and playing it, and playing the games through there. If they're going to come out and not play very well on the PC. But no, Spider Man, yeah, Miles Morales and Spider Man remastered. They played so well. I was like, oh man, no man. And then when I did go back and try to play those Spider Mans on a PlayStation 5, they just didn't feel or look the same to me. So I was just like, I'm not going to go ahead and I'm not going to risk it all. I'll be good. I'll be good. I'll just move on from that. Uh, Chris Coleman, he says, wasn't the test drive series always an open world racer? We used to have Burnout, GT, sim racers appeal to a different audience, automotive enthusiasts. You know what I'm saying? He said, arcade racers and sims exist side by side. No. You're right. No, that's the one thing of why I went ahead and I was getting clowned for it, because I said I'm going to get test drive and instead of Warhammer. And a lot of people, what? And my thing was because I like racers. I like all types of racers, just like I like all types of fighters. I like to play a racer. It's especially like if I'm chilling, I'm watching news or whatever, and I can zone in into playing a racing game. And you know what I'm saying, and I have a good time playing racers. So it's just a good kind of getting away, getting your mind off of whatever, and just driving, just riding. So I like a good racer. And like I said, this test drive game is not bad. It's not, that's why I was showing the gameplay of it. It's not bad whatsoever. I do need to take off these road lines. I'm over here slipping, but yeah, no, the driving mechanics is a little stiff, a lot stiff. I mean, I got it on experienced. There's 3 different levels of to where you can do it, and I didn't want to dare go to the highest difficulty, because I still wanted to get a good feel of how the game rides. But yeah, no, it's a cool game. It's not bad whatsoever. I was expecting a little bit more. The one thing that disappoints me the most is the lack. You don't get car damage, and I just feel like in today's gaming, the way that the technology is, I just feel that is just I don't know. You had, and it don't have to be substantial damage to look like something like from Forza or anything like that, or Wreck It or whatever. But I do expect to see some damage on the vehicle whenever I run into something hard enough. It just doesn't make any sense to have a racer in 2024 and there's no damage. I don't know, but it's a pretty game though. It is a pretty game. So, uh, you know what? I already had the Crew 2. Now I don't have the Crew 2 on PC. I have it on Xbox and on PlayStation. But I didn't like it. So, but I'm hearing a lot of people enjoying it. I don't know. I maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it, because when I was trying to play it, I was like, because I really enjoyed the Crew 1. I thought the Crew 1 was really dope. And I don't know, there was something about the Crew 2, and I didn't play that much of it. So but I did, but it is $1. Um, and I think the servers are going to close down here pretty soon. But yeah, it's only $1. Matter of fact, they have the Crew 2 and Motor Fest as a bundle for $20. So if people are interested in getting it, go ahead and get it. Because I like Motor Fest actually personally, because it definitely reminds me of Horizon. So yeah, so yeah, I would, if I had my choice of which racer between Test Drive and Motorfest. I say Motorfest is the better racer right now at this point. Trying to find certain things in the game, in solar is a little challenging, a little bit. You know, it had to take me a minute to figure out where to go in certain places, and then I'm like, oh, okay. And then when you get there, you get to talk to some people or whatever. It's cool. It's not a bad racer at all. I would just say wait for a sale. You know, that's why I was like, I'm not going to go all in and get because it was the $90 version. I was like, no, they had a $27 version, and I was like, okay, let me go ahead and cop that. And so I'm not disappointed with that at all. Will the crew two get an offline mode? Is that okay? Well, that'll be cool. Okay, okay. Well, then that'll be worth it. That'll be worth it for the dollar for sure. Okay, okay. All right, that's excellent. Okay, so all right, well, I'll go ahead and pick that up then for a dollar. I can't get mad about that at all. I can't get mad at that whatsoever. No, 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 no. I'll definitely do that. Anyway, but going back to what I was reading here, got off track. But yeah, this firmware situation, I don't, you know, a lot of people like to use conspiracy theories. I'm not going to say that is what Sony is trying to do. It just might be just a bad patch that just needs to be fixed. But yeah, the timing is suspect, and like I've said before, I don't trust Sony whatsoever. So I don't know, but I'm not gonna claim that this is what Sony is doing on purpose. I think this is just a bad patch, honestly. But it is what it is. But okay, so let's move on. But let's talk about what something that Chris Coleman brought up. I was talking about with Game Pass that it doesn't sustain games and things like that. And this is going to an article that popped up, or some stuff that was going on about hi-firush too, and that's on a game developer. I mean, I think it's kind of everywhere too as well. But the people that picked up Crichton, I think that's how you say it, Creighton, whatever. Crafton, sorry, I'm reading it right here. It looks right in my face. They're saying that we don't think, this is what the CEO is saying, he says, we don't think hi-firush 2 is going to make us money. Crafton CEO says Tango GameWorks acquisition is about legacy. So, and the first thing I started seeing, people were saying, and Cali Rex was one of them that came, it was like, see, this is, you know, because I said, oh, so they sound like to me that they're looking to see if Xbox will come to them and say, look, we can put this on Game Pass. And then so when Callie brought up, it was like, do you think Game Pass will save it? And then when I was reading within the article and then reading what people were saying about it, was like, this is what's to prove that Game Pass doesn't sustain games and things like that. But then I'm like, you know what? If this was just still an Xbox exclusive, then they could use that. But nobody bought this game. Unfortunately. This game I bought it. You know, I bought it. You know what I'm saying? Yobi was kind enough to send me to buy the DLC for me. And then I even got a free copy of it, you know, so from Xbox, which I appreciate so much. But it's unfortunate because it's such a good game, but it just comes to show as well that I don't think that Xbox had faith in it. And like I said, that's unfortunate. But PlayStation fans didn't resonate with it. Nintendo fans didn't resonate with it. PC gamers didn't resonate. This game didn't sell well at all. It sold at a loss. So you can't just blame it on Game Pass. Like Game Pass was the reason why the game got its status of being a quality title that was a potential nominee for Game of the Year. If it wasn't for Game Pass, you wouldn't have had over 3 million people play the game. And so that's what I'm saying. Like when you got these stands that come out and say, well, see, this just shows that Game Pass doesn't sustain it. When we see devs all the time says, look, this game saved the day for Game Pass, saved the day for us. It did a great job. We can't wait to put our new game on Game Pass and so forth and so forth. And so much so that you see games, they'll leave Game Pass and come back. So yeah, and not all games is going to get that, because I mean there was the one game Metal Bringer or whatever, it was the heavy metal game. It was a kind of a rhythm type of game where you fought as a demon in hell, and it was a wicked game. Really challenging though. Like you had to hit the riffs when you attacked right on point. But again, I should have played it on easy, and I was over here playing it on the hardest difficulty, and I was getting my ass spanked. So then I was like, okay, let's put it on regular settings, and I just probably needed to play on easy so I can get the rhythm down. But it's a challenging game, but it's not a bad game. But then they were one of the few that came out and said that they felt that they lost money by putting their game on Game Pass. So it is what it is. The reality of it is though with hi-firush, it just didn't sell. Nobody didn't buy it, unfortunately. Like I mean, it's such a damn good game. It is a wonderful game. And so when you look at this and you say, well, Game Pass this is why games are hurt because of Game Pass. No, this if it wasn't for Game Pass, we wouldn't even be having this discussion about this game. We wouldn't have this discussion about the game. Hold on for a second. Oh, okay. These people are here. My goodness. I didn't get a message saying that they were coming. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna have to wrap this up pretty quick. But the reality of it is, honestly, is that Game Pass sustain things and it makes things more you know what I'm saying? For certain games like this, I mean, like just think about this for a second. If it wasn't on Game Pass, would anybody be talking about hi-firush other than people who like me who bought it or something like that? And then you can get word of mouth, but we already got word of mouth. I mean, most people that played the game talked about how good the game was. So again, I don't know. Um, Dang it. I'm gonna have to end this because I got some people here that's going to be doing some work around the house. So I will be coming back. I'll come back here a little bit later to do the last final part of the podcast where we're talking about the price of the PlayStation. Um, so I will be doing that, and again, like I said, I'll be doing Fight Night later on tonight. Don't worry about that. But I did not know that these people were going to be here. I didn't get the message, but my wife did ask like 5 or 6 times. So anyway. So I got to get out of here. But I will get back in touch with you guys here later on this evening to finish talking about this. So I hope you guys will come and check it out. And then I will be back for Fight Night later on. So, and then give you my thoughts about the whole pro and then catching it being on the same par of the 40-70, things like that. But I got to get the hell out of here. So thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys here a little bit later on this evening. All right, man. Peace. I know this is so quick. All right, guys, I'll be back later on this evening.